This is practice problem number 3 from lesson 14, solving more systems, and unit 4, linear equations and linear systems. And this is the short version in which I try to provide minimal yet meaningful information to solve the problem. In problem 3, you're given this equation, y equals a negative 1 5/10 x plus 3, and asked which of the graphs of these equations intersects with the graph of this equation. That intersection will be the solution. So it will make a system of equations that has a single solution. So look at the slope. This equation is written in the slope-intercept form. So this is y equals mx, m is the slope, plus b, b is the y-intercept. So for one solution, the slopes will be different. The graphs of those equations will intersect at one point. If the slopes are equal, then there will be either zero solutions between the graphs, that means the lines will be parallel, or there will be an infinite number of solutions, that means the lines will fall right on top of each other. So they'll have the same slope and the same y-intercept. So if you rewrite each of these equations in the slope-intercept form, this is the slope, this is the slope, this is the slope here, negative 3/2, and this is the slope here, negative 3/2. So the y-intercept form, the graphs of these first two equations have the same slope, a negative 1 5/10, but different y-intercepts. So this y-intercept here is 6, this y-intercept is 3, and this y-intercept actually, the graph goes through 0, 0, the origin, and so this y-intercept is 0. So different y-intercepts, same graphs, that means there will be 0 solutions. Those graphs will never intersect. The next two, C and D, same slope. The graphs have the same slope. Negative 3/2 is the same as negative 1 5/10, and the same y-intercept. In this equation, I just divided through by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Negative 3 divided by 2 is a negative 3/2. So I get the same equation as this equation up here. A negative 3/2 equals a negative 1 5/10. This equation, I added a negative 3x to both sides. So this becomes a negative 3x plus 6, which matches this equation. And again, just divide through by 2, and you're going to get the same equation. So the graphs of each of these three, this equation here, and this equation up here, are all the same. Their graphs will land right on top of each other, so there will be an infinite number of solutions. Same slope, same y-intercept. That leaves E. E has a different slope, negative 2. So if it has a different slope, the graph of this equation will intersect the graph of this equation. And at that intersection will be the solution. So this system of equations will have a single solution. Different slope. Now notice actually the y-intercept is the same. It's 3. So that means the solution to this system of equations is actually x equals 0, y equals 3. So if x equals 0, y equals 3. Up here, if x equals 0, negative 1 5/10 times 0 is 0, and y also equals 3.